You know, they're beginning to understand that the game is up, and yet in their desperation to preserve their dream, they want to remove any remaining traces of democracy from the system. Increasingly people are saying, we don't want that flag, we don't want the anthem, we don't want this political class, we want the whole thing consigned to the dustbin of history.
It's really rather hard to understand why a country on the Aegean Sea needs there to be an EU policy on the Arctic.
None of you, it appears, seems to understand the concept of international money. Herr Brock started, who hasn't come off the phone actually since he came in, only to listen to himself, was rather interestingly started off this debate by suggesting it was a great success, the euro. One wonders what planet Herr Brock lives on.
You are very, very dangerous people indeed. Your obsession with creating this euro state means that you're happy to destroy democracy. You appear to be happy for millions and millions of people to be unemployed and to be poor. Untold millions must suffer so that your euro dream can continue. Well, it won't work.
It's a complete disaster. If he thinks it's such a success, I would argue he speaks to the millions of unemployed people, youngsters mainly in the Iberian Peninsula, southern Italy, and the rest of Europe, who are suffering from this disgraceful, fraudulent and deceitful currency which was crammed down the throats of the people of Europe against their will.
The EU has never been so unpopular. Yet here you are, wanting to stamp your flag on sporting stars in the hope that you can force the people to love you. But they won't.
What they're being told, as their government's collapsing, is that it would be inappropriate for them to have a general election. In fact, Commissioner Wren here said they had to agree their budget first before they'd be allowed to have a general election. Just who the hell do you think you people are?
The EU isn't a country. The EU is a false state, and what you're trying to create is something very dangerous.
Mr. President, the reason for the anger and the noise is because we're not actually applying the rules of this place evenly. Mr. Schulz has repeatedly thrown insults, not just at me, but at many members of this House. He said that the Eurosceptics, the no voters, opened the door to fascism. We've had Danny Cohn-Bendit calling us mentally ill. Can we, Mr. President, if the rules are that something is deemed to be an insult, a member is asked to leave, that's fair enough. But the anger, and I share that anger, is these rules are not applied evenly. Mr. Schulz regularly calls other people fascists, and when he's called one, the member in question is asked to leave. That isn't right, that isn't fair. We've reached a point with this when actually it doesn't matter what any of you say. Nobody believes you. The public don't support you.
Yet again, there is one rule for Herr Schulz and one rule for everybody else. This is a disgrace. I have been elected, re-elected, to vote in this chamber by the people of Yorkshire, your own constituency I might add, with a democratic mandate which you do not enjoy, Mr. President, yourself, because you switched parties and they voted for the Conservatives. I have no intention of apologising. I have no intention of leaving this chamber. You must have me escorted out.
But it's even more serious than economics. Because if you rob people of their identity, if you rob them of their democracy, then all they are left with is nationalism and violence. I can only hope and pray that the Euro project is destroyed by the markets before that really happens.